and welcome. Today, I am delighted to have back on Ian Freeman. I had Ian on episode 67. If you haven't tuned into that episode, Ian Freeman is the syndicated radio show host of Free Talk Live. It's a libertarian talk radio show that can be heard in over 160 stations. Ian really has reached the finish line in his own way. He has been doing great things in standing and supporting the ideas of liberty. And I'm happy to have him back on. Ian, welcome.
Hey, Callan. Great to be back.
Yeah, it is. It's great to have you. The last time that I interviewed you was was last year. And that time we were talking kind of a little bit about kind of how you got started in radio. I really want to kind of go back in time. People in Northern New England may be a bit more familiar with you, especially in New Hampshire. You do civil disobedience in the name of liberty, which is very courageous. And
I have done. I haven't done some in quite a while because, I've gotten arrested several times, and the more times you get arrested, the more difficult the penalties become. So civil disobedience isn't really a sustainable form of activism for an individual. If you've got a group of folks, then it can be pretty interesting and powerful. So I'm kind of tapped out, but I still tend to, say no when the government tells me to do stuff. So I'm still pretty non-cooperative, but doing open civil disobedience, I haven't done that in a number of years. But
yeah,
I have done it, and there's a movie about it.
Yes, for sure. And really, these acts of courage has really stimulated these ideas of liberty within the masses, and really given an opportunity to question the government. Now, there are a lot of people who just say, you know what, I just want to reach the finish line. I just want to make a lot of money, and I don't really care about all that other stuff. You do have those people. Now, for those people who's going to live abroad, I've lived abroad for 18 months. Well, it probably will not affect them. But if you do stay within the United States, you're going to be affected by it in some regard, and more people are affected by it than others. Let's talk about your upbringing in Sarasota, Florida, because that's where you was born and raised. I like to talk about kind of the childhood, because really it becomes the foundation of the person you become. We can definitely, sometimes people deviate from it, but it really has a significant influence. So let's start there. What was it like, Ian? Was your mother and father in your life?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Start there.
They were. I consider my parents to have done a good job raising me. They stayed together. They cared about each other. I wasn't abused or anything like that. I was given the freedom to kind of be who I wanted to be. And I remember when I came out as an atheist when I was 16. I'm not an atheist anymore, but when I did come out as an atheist, they said that, look, we don't agree, but we support you in whatever you want to do. So that was good, and I'm still in touch with them today.
So they were very middle class kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. They're not libertarians. My dad kind of was, and my mom is definitely not, and she kind of dragged him back from the Libertarian Party. He and I had joined the Libertarians when I was, 17, 18, somewhere around that range. And then he got pulled back by her. But, they're business owners, or she's a business owner. She runs a thrift shop in Sarasota. And so I started working there when I was a child, just kind of running the cash register, that kind of thing. So getting some experience at customer service, and so that helped me have a good work ethic, I would say.
I think that's very important. That's something I started out younger as well. At I think about 11 or 12 years old, that's when I started bagging groceries for tips at a little grocery store back in the day. It's called Murray's. I'm not sure if it's still in business, but yeah, it was a great way. I was making about 30 $5 a day on the weekends. So $70 wasn't bad for someone who's 12 years old.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that's very important, Ian. You know, that a lot of parents kind of encourage their kids to start working at a young age, as opposed to, because unfortunately I talk to a lot of people, and this also plays regarding to reach the finish line, because you kind of need these soft skills. You kind of need these initial skills to make the progression easier, because otherwise, you know, for example, I talk to a lot of people who they said that the first time they ever worked is when they graduated from college. Like, that's their first job.
Man.
Like, their first job is like 21 years old, like literally
That's
graduating
rough.
from college. And like yourself, you work at a young age. I work, at a young age, and we kind of already know what it's like. But for a person who's been taken care of their whole life, it's like it could be, for them, it's like a huge disconnect.
I can only imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, if you're doing that when you get out of college, what are you, 23, 22 when you, most people get out of college? I mean, for me, that's more than a decade past my first, employing experience or job experience.
Yeah. And so do you have siblings, Ian?
I do. A younger sister, 4 years younger.
Okay, so let's, what was that like? I guess she looked up to you when you was a big brother.
I don't know. We didn't really get along real well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with my brother. I have a brother. He's older, but we don't get along that much either.
I mean, we've gotten along since then. People change, obviously, when they become adults. I mean, I've only encountered her a couple of times since I moved out of the house, so we don't have any real relationship, but the couple times that I've seen her, we've got along fine.
Yeah. The moment you graduated from high school, Ian, was your parents, did they tell you, you're going to college whether you like it or not, or was college something that you already had an interest in?
I don't know how. I don't think I was particularly interested in college, but I was getting to go for free because I got what they call the Bright Futures Scholarship in Florida. It's a government scholarship, and so I'm like, oh, well, might as well go. So I went to a 2-year community college, and that was it. That's where I stopped.
I said, yeah. You know what? I don't blame you. You kind of saved yourself from the monstrous amounts of student loan debt.
Oh yeah.
That unfortunately many people, even including myself, are a victim to.
Oh no, I didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah. I went to Penn State University.
Oh man.
So I got it.